Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bulldog Report. And it's an exciting doubleheader. Last day of the basketball season. We've got pod championships for the girls and the boys, and we start today with the Metuchen Lady Bulldogs hosting the South Plainfield Tigers for the Flaherty pod final. And what better way to start it than to talk to Lieutenant Art Flaherty himself. Thank you so much for being here today, Mr. Flaherty.
Thanks, Eddie. Thanks for having me on. This is awesome.
So I'm curious, of course, a lot of things came together for the GMC this year to put together these pods and such. So what was the process of getting your namesake here on this pod?
So I was surprised by it, to be honest with you. My brother Tommy had sent me a text, and I saw it, and I was like, I didn't quite see the whole thing. I was like flipping through, I was like, wow, there's a lot of great players in Middlesex County that were featured in the pictures. And then I got all the way down to where they said the Flaherty pod. Very humbling, and that was the way I found out, because I hadn't been called or anything like that, so they had probably taken blurbs that they had from other articles and put it out there.
Yeah, and then, some of the names, for example, the pod that St. Joe's is in, Carl Anthony Towns, Jay Williams, these are notable names, so to be right there with them, of course, that has to be a great honor.
And then you got to take a look back into history in the 70s when you have the Taylor family and you have Dave Walt, who was an NBA All-Star. The Taylors, who two brothers scored over 2,500 points before the three-point line, and the one brother was an all-pro for the San Francisco 49ers. So that's some, the recent history, and I have a chance to be in the middle of all the history. There's some great players that came through this county, some great families.
Definitely. And talking about the history in general, of course, the Flaherty family, dating back to you all the way through, has a long lineage here in Metuchen. And we have a new Flaherty, Leslie Flaherty, got some minutes with the varsity team in their last regular season game against Highland Park. Of course, that, you mentioned getting your name on this pod is very humbling, but that as well, getting to see yet another Flaherty making an impact here in Metuchen on the basketball court.
It is pretty neat. We had, I've been featured in People That Love Metuchen, Lovers of Metuchen, I think, on the MDA website. And one of the things that the interviewer, Bobby, pointed out was that this is actually the third generation of Flaherty's rolling through, which is pretty cool, because my parents bought a house here in '52, and then I was able to stay in town, and my brothers went to the high school here, and myself and my sisters. And now my kids have gone to the high school here, and my brother Tommy's daughter, Caitlin Flaherty, went to the high school here as well. So it's very humbling. It's nice to see that they recognize the Flaherty family, and my mom was really taken aback. She's 9 years old in Georgia, and she couldn't believe it. So
And
very nice.
It's so nice to see, Metuchen is a small town, and to see these families in such a tight-knit community, that it's continued this legacy here at Metuchen with the Flaherty family. So I'm curious for you, as someone who played basketball, and of course it's got a big impact on your family. What do you enjoy most about the sport?
So I enjoy that it's not just like you don't have to be the best or the greatest. Like when a team comes together, you can have one person that's a star, but the fifth person on that team is just as important, because they have a big stop or they get the ball to the right person. And it really is going to, kind of like going to war with somebody. Like, basketball team is physical. It's, you play together all this time. And I was really happy that they got this out with COVID and everything like that. I mean, it's been a challenge, and, they put the Metuchen Education Foundation put together these cameras, and that's awesome. Like, this town always comes together and figures out how to do it.
Yeah, and credit also just to the GMC in general, because we didn't really know what to expect with winter sports. We saw struggles with fall sports, and shifting everything indoors, we knew it was going to add a whole other level of possible problems, but it's gone very well in Metuchen, and you really have to give credit where credit is due. But of course, for you, watching Leslie play, getting to experience the action, it's been an unconventional year, but getting to come back over these last couple of weeks obviously has to be exciting to get to see the games in person.
It was nice to get back into the gym, and just how resourceful and resilient these kids are. And I say kids, young ladies and young men, that, here we are in the middle of COVID yourself, doing the announcing, and we've found a way to survive and make it work. And that's what's incredible about about you guys in general. This generation's really overcome a ton of things, and here we are on to the next, and we're just taking it in stride and swinging.
Yeah, there's been a lot to overcome, and the Lady Bulldogs today will be looking to overcome South Plainfield. Should be a great matchup. Coach Artie Flaherty, of course, you can see right there, we have the trophy all prepared for the Flaherty family pod. Getting to see your name on that is obviously great, and I really appreciate you being here and joining us here on the pregame show.
I appreciate you having me here. And the other thing about the pods is that there's one other great one that's coming up after ours. That's the Haley family pod, another great Metuchen name. Generations of sports writing and athletes that were in there too. And when you talk about a cog in the thing, one of the brothers was on the 1971, I believe, county championship team that won the whole thing, and they never thought they would win that whole thing, and it was a great story.
Wow.
So, another piece of history for you.
Yeah, 2 games today. Of course, a lot of action, but a lot of history as well. Artie Flaherty, thanks so much for joining us today.
And I want that picture before you leave because my wife knows you're going to be famous. So I had to get it.
Sure thing. All right, so we're going to take a quick break and be back for the pregame show in just a moment here on the Bulldog Report. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We've got a long day of basketball ahead. We didn't really think it was possible. It was a bit of a rarity for this to happen, but we have 2 pod finals taking place in Metuchen back-to-back this evening, and it starts with the girls coming in at 10-4, 6-4 in the GMC Blue Division with a rematch against South Plainfield, who are 5-9 with a 4-7 divisional record. Eddie Kalegi here. We'll be joined for the second game today by Josh Hyman, but I'll be going solo here for the girls contest and taking a look at the rest of our crew. Ben Selesky, our producer, and our videographer is Jada Victor Morse. Of course, this is the Flaherty pod final here between South Plainfield and Metuchen. We just talked to Artie Flaherty at the beginning of the pregame show. And looking at this Bulldog team, they will be led by Molly Maleg with her 15 points per game. Chase Clavon just a notch below that. Orly Germain 6.5. Charlotte Breen with 6. So the path to get here, Let's start with South Plainfield. They pulled off a major upset against South River, who was seeded as the top seed. There was a lot of controversy with the seeding here for this pod because Metuchen was put below Calvary despite beating them because of their loss to South River, who was put as the 1 seed. But South Plainfield beat South River as a 4 seed in South River 41-32 Wednesday. A big game from Sarah McNelly, who had 14 points. Lindsay Euler had 11 rebounds, and they outscored South River 18-7 in the fourth quarter to come back from a deficit after the third. The Bulldogs also had to come from behind in their victory against Calvary. We knew Calvary was going to play them tough. Metuchen won at 39-35, 14 points from Chase Clavon, 11 rebounds from Molly Maleg, and 4 steals on the defensive end for Charlotte Brain. And the Bulldogs came back from down 22-14 in the came back and outscored Calvary, 22-14 in the second half after trailing by 4 at the break. But let's send it down courtside now. National Anthem starting lineups just a moment away as we get ready to go here in the Flaherty Pod Final.
Let the spectators be positive. Today, in the Flaherty Family Pod Final, it will be the Bulldogs hosting the Tigers from South Plainfield High School. Before we get to the starters, would you please stand for the playing of our national anthem? And now the starters for the Tigers. At guard, the sophomore, number 23, Sarah McNelly. At guard, the junior, number 21, Brady Harris. At guard, the senior, number 3, Delaney Bourne. At forward, the freshman, number 10, Lindsay Oliver. And at forward, the junior, number 32, Sydney Lopan.
All right, here we go. It is almost time. All right, here we go. It is almost time for some hoops. It's the first of 2 games, pod finals. Of course, Metuchen is the 3 seed. South Plainfield is the 4. The Bulldogs really needed a miracle to be playing at home, and they got that. Now let's see if they can take advantage and not only get the season sweep here against the South Plainfield Tigers, but win a pod championship. Quick look right now at their last meeting back on January the 29th. Metuchen defeated the Tigers 50-32, their first game of a 3-game homestand where they went 3-0 against South Plainfield, Brearley, and South Amboy. Chase Clavon led the way with 16 points for Metuchen, while junior Brianna Harris for South Plainfield netted 19. She was key in that game. So here we go. Bulldogs will be on defense. The South Plainfield Tigers will start with the ball, and we are underway. It's Brianna Harris with it. Harris drives in the lane, finds an open player, and now swings it back out. 3-pointer right out of the gates is no good. Right there from Bourne, but the rebound there by Sydney Loyacano. Bourne, Loyacano, Harris, McNelly, and Euler, the 5 out there for the Tigers. As Breen nearly gets a hand on it, now it's Brianna Harris with it. Harris is going to drive, strong side, lays it up off the glass too strong. Harris gets her own rebound. Metuchen can't get rebounds right now, but are playing pretty solid defense. Loyacano trapped at the top of the key. Screen set, coming around, laying it up, and getting it to fall right there is Sarah McNelly. 9.5 points a game this season, and she gets her first 2 right here. 2-0 your score. Here's Molly Maleg with it, passes to Pachalski, gives it off to Clavon at the left wing. Clavon, now to the top of the key, that's Charlotte Breen. Breen, the nice crossover move, and an errant pass intended for either Clavon or Pachalski, but it ended up heading instead right for Coach Jeffrey Corradesso and out of bounds, and it will be South Plainfield ball. So the Tigers get a defensive stop there on a Breen miscue, and now the Tigers have it. Screen set by Euler. Harris again driving down the lane and draws the foul. And Brianna Harris will head to the line. Harris, their leading scorer, averaging 10.6 points a game this season. Also has 22 steals on the year. Second most on the team, trailing only Sarah McNelly. Harris can hit the first free throw. So Maleg picks up the foul. First of the game for either side. Harris can't hit either, so the Bulldogs get a break and now will look to score. Up the floor, here comes Molly Maleg with it. Maleg, nice dribble move at the top of the key, spins inside. Breen is wide open. They're going to give it to Clavon instead. Straight on 3, no good off the back iron. Euler corrals the miss and flicks it over to Loyacano. Now here comes Delaney Bourne with it. Bourne has it, back at the Bulldog, and feeds it over to McNelly. Screen set by Loyacano. McNelly goes the other way with it, penetrates, feeds it out. Bourne is in the corner, 4-3. That's a splash from downtown. Delaney Bourne gives South Plainfield an early 5-point lead here, 2 minutes gone. Here's Charlotte Breen with it. The right wing to the corner, now driving along the baseline. Maleg, that pass is errant, but fortunately Breen was there for it. Metuchen a little sloppy and out of control here in the first couple minutes. Breen. And that's going to be a turnover. South Plainfield ball. And we're actually going to see a timeout here as Metuchen has had a rocky start here in the first couple minutes, trailing by 5. And it's a similar story. You know, that game against Calvary, for example, they pretty much controlled Calvary when they met in the regular season and won by 14, and then only won by 4 and trailed at halftime against a Gold Division opponent. This time here against South Plainfield, this is a team that they dominated, especially in the second half of a game in the regular season. It was close at the end of the first half, but then they pulled away in the third quarter. But nonetheless, they won by 18. And you think South Plainfield not only a little more motivation after pulling off such a tremendous upset against South River. We know this team is flowing well with that recent victory. And you know there's some added motivation as well because they lost to Metuchen earlier this season and want some revenge here in the Brainy Borough. But nonetheless, the Bulldogs have to regroup after a lax start as Euler can't convert. Molly Maleg tries to pin it to her leg, loses it. Bourne chucks up another three. That one won't fall, and Breen has it. Metuchen having some trouble down low getting rebounds, but there it goes out wide to Charlotte Breen. Now Maleg drives in off the pass from Breen, flicks it back out to Clavon. Clavon tries to split the double team, gets caught up inside, puts it up, no good. Germain the rebound, the putback, rims out. Pachalski tries to tip it and save it. She cannot. Loyacano the rebound, and the other way comes South Plainfield. Bourne inside. That's Euler, and that's good. The freshman Lindsay Euler, who had 11 rebounds in the win against South River, and Metuchen on their home floor in a pod championship, down by 7 here just 3 minutes in. Clavon almost loses control of the dribble, feeds it back out to Breen. Now Maleg splits the double and drives back out to the left wing. Maleg. And that's going to be another turnover. Travel there from Maleg. The Bulldogs with their third turnover here in the first 3.5 minutes. And with a three-pointer here, South Plainfield could go up double digits here in the first quarter. Definitely not what we expected. McNelly dribbles towards the top of the key. Now here is Bourne. Back to Harris. Harris has been aggressive. She'll swing it out. Inside, here comes Loyacano. The layup is short. Molly Maleg with a nice rebound. Bulldogs still looking to get on the board. Maleg at the three-point line, drives, puts it up, draws the foul, and 2 free throws will be incoming here for Molly Maleg. Double-double in the game against Calvary. And is averaging 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists a game this season. She is leading the Bulldogs in all 3 of those statistical categories. And that's not what you want to do when you're behind, as Maleg leaves the first free throw short. Metuchen a little sloppy, not shooting the ball well. Almost seems like it's an early game for them, but it's a 5 o'clock start here, so that's not the case. But Maleg does convert the second. So it's 7-1 South Plainfield here halfway through the first. With the ball, sidestepping, driving, swinging it out. Loyacano, the jumper, no good off the back iron. Euler, the strong rebound, but then has it slapped away, gets it back, puts it up over Pachalski, no good. Gets another rebound. Metuchen just cannot get the ball inside right now. Pachalski and Germain are having all kinds of problems down low. And a 3 from Bourne won't go. High off the backboard, and then actually hit the line up there, so a turnover. Metuchen will take possession. As Clavon will take a seat. And Metuchen didn't realize they have to have somebody inbound, as Charlotte Breen will now give it to Cassidy Connors, and up the floor they come. Bulldogs looking really out of sync right now, and not much better out of the timeout, so let's see if this team can start to get things going. It's Connors, back to Breen. Breen, sidestepping, crossover move, back over to Maleg. Maleg, pump fake, now trapped in a double team, dribbles the other way, chucks up a shot, rims out. Metuchen not getting any lucky breaks. And they changed the call. It's actually going to be Metuchen ball, as McNelly touched it before it went out of bounds. Breen will inbound. Gets it over to Connors. Connors spears it in the corner. Dribbles back to the right wing. Maleg sets a screen. Connors swings it out. Charlotte Breen tries a 3. No good. Germain tips it back to Maleg. Maleg, guarded by 3 defenders, gets hit. And that's going to be a turnover. No foul called. And here come the Tigers with it. The Bulldogs offense has gone cold so far in this pod, held to just 39 points by Calvary and just have 1 so far tonight, as McNelly can't bury an open 3. As for South Plainfield, they have to be making those shots if you get that opportunity and try to expand this lead. And Metuchen cannot be doing that. That's their 3rd travel here of the first quarter. This time it's Cassidy Connors. And it's 7-1 and South Plainfield ball. Lots of substitutions here for Metuchen. They're going to keep Germain in for the rebounding support. Caitlin Waldron is in the game, as is Clavon. Now actually Germain's going to come out. So all kinds of changes, whereas South Plainfield, who only play with predominantly a 6-player rotation, sometimes 7, will stay with their starting 5. Noel, Pachalski, Connors, Waldron, and Clavon, the 5 for Metuchen. Still Loyacano, Bourne, Euler, McNelly, and Harris for the Tigers. Swinging it out. McNelly, Clavon trying to get the steal. That's what's helped the Bulldogs this season, and they'll get one. Nice tip right there by Waldron, and she takes it away. Waldron ahead to Clavon. Clavon inside. Flicks it up. Way too strong. Pachalski goes for the rebound. A tie-up, and the possession arrow is Metuchen's way, so the Lady Bulldogs will have it underneath. Waldron finds Clavon. Clavon tries a 3. They need this, and she got it. Well, it took till the 2-minute mark of the first quarter here, but the Bulldogs finally have a field goal and are back within 3. It's 7-4. Bourne over to McNelly. South Plainfield has suddenly gone cold, but not anymore as Euler just throws that one up and gets the friendly roll. And the lead is back up to 5. Clavon trying to catch fire. Tries one from 3, no good. Bounced off the top of the line. Clavon now 1 of 5 from the field here to start this game. She and Germainer are combined 1 of 8. And now Maleg will check back into the game. And Pachalski will get her first break. So every Metuchen starter has sat for at least a little bit here in the first quarter as they're just trying these different rotations to try to spark something. But right now, South Plainfield has this pretty firmly in hand due to their play down low. But that one's going to be tipped out of bounds. Nice defense there from Maleg, but it will stay with the Tigers. They'll elect to have Delaney Bourne throw it in. Bourne, their leader in assists this season, swings it out. Loyacano tries a 3. That's an air ball, and Metuchen will have possession. 1:13 remaining here in the first quarter. 9-4 your score. Maleg. There's Noel. Maleg floats it up, puts it up, gets the shot to fall, and 1. Maleg with her first basket will head back to the line here to try to get the Bulldogs back within 2 points. And again, Maleg short on a free throw. Somehow Connors comes out of that with a rebound. Here comes Clavon, floats it up, no good. Noel the rebound. It's popped out of her hands by McNelly, and now Sarah McNelly going coast to coast. Stops at the three-point line. Sidestep, three-pointer, no good. Clavon can't get the rebound. Loyacano takes it. Euler inside. Lindsay Euler can't hit. Gets another rebound, and now she'll be hacked. Lindsay Euler is having a huge game down low. And as a freshman, playing on this big of a stage for the first time, she's completely unfazed and making a mark and really dominating the paint, where Metuchen has just really looked bad today as the first free throw misses for Euler. Euler averages 7.7 points a game and is their leading rebounder at 9.3 per game. And she splashes the second. 5 points now for Lindsay Euler. 10-6. South Plainfield on top. 36 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Clavon over to Breen. Nice entry pass to Connors. Noel puts it up. No good inside. Nice defense from Loyacano. 22 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. South Plainfield doing a good job taking their time. Brianna Harris, the playmaker. Going to step back. Feeds it over. Loyacano in the corner. Noel closes off on the 3. Coach Glutz very animated on the sidelines. And a double dribble there for McNelly. Metuchen will get it back with 7 seconds remaining in the quarter. Looking for a potential buzzer beater. Here's Clavon. Across the midcourt line. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Makes her move. Drives in, loses the ball, takes a hard fall, and that will end the first quarter. A disastrous one for the Bulldogs. They trailed by as many as 6. South Plainfield coming out strong down low. Bulldogs with tons of turnovers, but still only down 4. 10-6 is your score, and this is a great opportunity for us to extend a quick thank you to the Metuchen Education Foundation. They've funded the Get Loud grant, which is making this broadcast and every broadcast throughout the season possible. So at your score right now, Bulldogs trailing 10-6. This is Eddie Kalegi here on the Bulldog Report. Stay with us. We'll be back for quarter number 2. All right, second quarter. South Plainfield Tigers leading at 10-6. Moyacano tries one from deep, can't get it to fall. Unable to secure the rebound there was McNelly, and now back the other way comes Chase Clavon. Still the starting five in there for South Plainfield, and Clavon again is off from three. He's now 1 of 7 from the field here. And across the timeline, here is Bourne. Bulldogs going with Connors, Clavon, Pachelski, Breen, and Germain. So all the starters except for Maleg, but Clavon there, the nice defense to force a double dribble for McNelly. Neither of these teams, unless they play against a really bad team, are going to wow you with the offense. They're really defensive specialties, but the South Plainfield right now is just doing a better job on both ends of the floor. Bulldogs also just cannot get an easy shot inside, but Cassidy Connors gives it to Pachelski. Pachelski way off on the mid-range jumper. Germain the rebound, and she traveled. An unbelievable number of turnovers here for the Bulldogs. Actually, they're going to call an offensive foul there against Germain. Thought that was a travel, but it's going to be her first and the Bulldogs' third. Apologies on that. As Harris floats one inside, McNelly pivoting, almost traveled, and now that's picked up by Charlotte Breen. Breen ahead to Connors. Connors backing in on McNelly. At the elbow, inside to the paint. Now here's Pachelski, hounded by Loyacano. Clavon chucks one up from three. Another miss from downtown for Clavon, but Germain picks it up on the nice defense from Connors, but she'll lose it out of bounds. Fortunately, it'll stay with the Bulldogs. Last touch by McNelly. Here's a quick pass. Germain has it batted away. Now Connors resecures it. Inside, Germain can't roll it in. The Bulldogs just cannot make anything. Only 2 field goals here for Metuchen. And we're almost at the 6-minute mark of the second quarter. Inside, Euro step from Harris, swatted away by Pachelski. Bourne given space from deep, off the front of the rim, no good. South Plainfield not shooting very well either. They've scored just 3 points in the last 6 minutes. Low scoring game, a lot of turnovers, a little sloppy from both teams, but South Plainfield still currently on top. Connors kicks it out, Clavon. Clavon leaves it back for Connors. Connors drives in, makes a move, has it knocked away out of bounds, and it will stay with the Bulldogs. Actually, they're going to call the foul there. That'll be the 3rd foul against South Plainfield, and Cassidy Connors will go to the charity stripe. Connors 5th on the team in scoring, averaging 3.7 points a game and 5 rebounds per game. And she'll bury the first free throw. Foul there is against McNelly, her first. Connors hits 2 big free throws, and the Bulldogs are back within a single possession. 10-8 your score with 5:57 remaining in the first half. McNelly has it at the top of the key, guarded by Clavon and Breen, swings it over to Bourne. Bourne gets it back over to Harris. Oilers sets the screen on Harris. Harris goes the other way. Euro steps, chucks it up, puts it up. That's going to be a foul. And Brianna Harris will head to the free throw line. All kinds of contact down low. And they're going to call the foul there against Knoll, her first, team's 4th. So Harris at the line, 10.6 points a game. And 1.6 steals per game. And she puts the first one in. First points of the night for Harris. Remember, she had 19, a game high, when these teams matched up back on January the 29th. That was the home opener for the girls, as both will fall there for Harris. A lot of troubles for both teams, but both are shooting pretty well from the free throw line. And that one's going to be picked off. Brianna Harris the other way, coasts right inside, and the South Plainfield lead is back up to 6. And the first field goal for Harris, she has 4 points overall. 14-8 your score. Metuchen being a little erratic with it. really need to slow things down. Connors is going to drive in. Nice bounce pass to Pachalski, though, and an easy finish, a rarity today, but Pachalski puts it in and makes it 14-10. 5 minutes remaining here in the first half. McNelly, screen set by Euler. Loyacano, pass to the corner, that is Delaney Bourne. Connors closes up quickly on Bourne. Metuchen playing a little bit better defense right here. Euler sets the screen. McNelly loses the ball, and that's going to go off the right toe, potentially, of Connors. And South Plainfield will retain possession. As here is Harris. Pass. Jumper, Loyacano, way off. Rebound Connors, and it's a Metuchen ball nonetheless. And that's the fourth foul. And a timeout's going to be called here with 4:37 remaining in the second quarter. As this is the Flaherty Pod Finals here between South Plainfield and Metuchen. So a little bit of a shout out over to the Penn State baseball team, in fact, today, as Jay Harry, a former Metuchen player, got his first career hit playing at US Bank Stadium in a game against Minnesota, some Big Ten competition. Jay Harry with a double to the left field corner, out of the reach of the left fielder diving there. And Harry, of course, headed to Penn State. He committed there. He's a freshman, got his first career hit right there. So kudos to Harry. Of course, Metuchen baseball will be back at it in April. So a shout out to Harry, doing a great job in making the Bulldogs proud there in State College, Pennsylvania. So Metuchen ball, Waldron inside, Maleg rolls it up. Metuchen just cannot finish inside. It's almost like there's a lid right there on that basket. So many close shots that Metuchen just hasn't been able to convert. As Bourne puts up a three, she can't hit. Maleg, the strong rebound, pulls it away from Euler. But speaking of pulling it away, McNelly the snatch, and now Connors takes one away. Fires one over, great pass to Maleg. Maleg, the floater, is up no good. Knoll the rebound, Sarah Knoll can't hit either. Tipped away. Ball bouncing around all over the place, and South Plainfield has it, and now they're on the run. McNelly trying to split the double team, and she turns it over. Coach Glutz getting very, very animated on the sideline to slow things down. Both teams rushing, and it's not doing anything good for either team except to tire them out. Waldron drives, nice move, lays it up and in. Fifth different Bulldog player in the scoring column. Metuchen does not have any players in this game with more than 3 points. Maleg and Clavon have that. Overall leading scorer in this game is Lindsay Euler with 5. Here's a pass. Loyacano, hounded by Knoll. Nice screen set on Waldron, but she gets back. Driving in Loyacano. Connors almost took it away, right near out of bounds, but keeping it are the Tigers. Euler, the spin move inside, way too strong, and that'll go out of bounds, Metuchen ball. So the Bulldogs have trailed by as many as 6 on multiple occasions here, but have scored 4 unanswered and are looking to tie the game here. Up the floor comes Molly Maleg. Maleg, Breen, Connors, Knoll, and Waldron, the 5 on the floor for the Dogs. Maleg, screen set there by Waldron. Strong pass out to Breen that's Knoll in the corner, and she gets the friendly roll. Sarah Knoll with her first point. 6 different Metuchen players have scored, despite both Charlotte Breen and Aurelie Germain having a 0 in the scoring column each. South Plainfield looking to get the lead back. The girls in another close game here in the Flaherty family pod, and Loyacano will draw the contact, and Sydney Loyacano, averaging 2 points a game this season, will look for her first at the line here, as Sarah Knoll, who has played a pretty solid game down low, will pick up her second foul. Loyacano can't hit the first, as Pachalski will check in for Knoll. Cassidy Connors will also take a seat as Molly Maleg is back into the game. Leocano knocks down the second. So back half of that trip to the charity stripe is enough to give South Plainfield a 15-14 lead here. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the half. Maleg drives in, leaves it short, gets her own rebound, falls out of bounds but saves it. And now a travel by Waldron, so despite the nice play by Maleg, the Bulldogs can't capitalize. And South Plainfield once again will be looking to extend their lead. Metuchen has gotten close enough to tie it twice, but have not been able to get the lead here. They have not led yet in this game. Harris drives in, out to the corner. That's Bourne, a three. Can't get it to fall. And a nice job by Maleg as she draws the contact, and Metuchen will have possession. As the foul there is picked up on the other side by Ani Ramirez, who's into the game for the first time. As she takes a seat back, and McNelly checks back in for South Plainfield. As that pass tipped in the air, Brianna Harris has another steal. Gets across the midcourt line. Final 90 seconds of the first half. Bourne gets a hand on it. Nearly hits our camera over there, but it'll be South Plainfield retaining possession. So Euler will look for someone. Pass, they leave McNelly wide open. Breen closes up quickly, though, and alters the shot. Euler, the putback, can't hit again. That one won't fall either. 3 opportunities. South Plainfield can't hit either. I mean, neither team can be shooting any more than about 30% for the field at the best in this game, as Clavon can't hit. Another missed 3 for Clavon. Overall in the game, Chase Clavon is now 1 of 10 from the field. As that pass over to Harris. She's 1 of 10. Germain is 0 of 5, so do the math. That's part of the reason why the Bulldogs are struggling. Just their typical key scorers just cannot get it in, despite playing pretty good defense on the other end. Quick pass. There is Harris with it. Breen with the defense. 36 seconds remaining here in the first half. Sidestep by Harris. That shot no good. Euler tied up with Pachelski. Sends Euler to the ground. That was a pretty tough attempt there by Carly Pachelski to try to rip that one away. Nonetheless, Metuchen had the possession arrow pointed their way. It's Bulldog ball. Final 30 seconds here of the first half. Connors trying to find someone open and gets it over to Caitlin Waldron. Waldron steps back at the three-point line. Back to Pachelski. Now it's Waldron with 10 seconds. Waldron drives in, puts it up, and gets it to fall. Nice finish by Caitlin Waldron to give Metuchen the lead. Final seconds. 3 seconds here in the first half. Bourne chucks one up at the horn, no good. And the Bulldogs, after all those issues, get their first lead of the game with 6 seconds left in the first half and lead at 16-15 here at the break. It has not been a great game for Metuchen, who again are held below 20 points in the first half here in this pod. They were held to 17 in the first half against Calvary and came back to win that game by 4. Now they're in front, but playing pretty good defense, but just cannot hit their shots. Clavon has struggled, so has Germain. Nobody on the Metuchen team has more than 4 points. Their leading scorer is Caitlin Waldron with 4. 3 points apiece for Maleg and Clavon, 2 for Pachelski, 2 for Knoll, and 2 for Connors. On the other side, Lindsay Euler has 5, playing a great game down low. South Plainfield just haven't been able to shoot the ball well. They had 7 points in the first 4 minutes and only have 8 in the last 12. 4 points for Brianna Harris, 3 for Bourne, 2 for McNelly, and 1 for Loyacano. And this is a good opportunity once again to extend a thank you to the Metuchen Education Foundation for their generous funding of the Get Loud grant, making this broadcast and every broadcast throughout the season possible. And it's Eddie Kalegi here with our producer Ben Selesky and our videographer Jada Victor Morse. And a reminder that we've got more action coming up at 7 o'clock. It's the Haley Pod Final as the Metuchen boys look to pick up a pod championship as they host Old Bridge. So you can check that out. Josh Hyman will be here to call all the action with me. 7 o'clock right here on the Bulldog Report. So Metuchen on top, 16-15, despite some first half miscues on both sides of the ball. They'll look to clean it up and claim this Flaherty Family Pod Trophy. We shall see what happens. Stay with us here on the Bulldog Report. We'll be back in a few minutes for the starting of the second half. This is Eddie Kalegi here live. Metuchen leading it by 1 at the break. All right, Eddie Kalegi here on the Bulldog Report, taking a look at our crew once again today. We have Ben Solaski as our producer. Our videographer is Jada Victor Morris with Mr. Zanetto helping us out, and Josh Hyman also for the boys broadcast. So it's a full crew. We got a lot of work to do today. 2 games, doubleheader, but it's fun nonetheless getting to see the girls and the boys. Of course, this was a shocker that Metuchen would get a home game. A lot of people thought they'd beat Calvary. They beat them earlier in the season. But the expectation was that South River was going to beat South Plainfield, and instead the Tigers knocked them off by 9. And it seems like South Plainfield has carried some of that momentum into this game, despite being 5-9 on the season and losing by 18 to this Metuchen team earlier in the season. They're down by just 1. The Bulldogs finally got their first lead with 6 seconds left in the first half. And if I would have told you beforehand that their leading scorer at halftime was Caitlin Waldron, I mean, you'd be shocked by that. Waldron is 7th on the team in scoring on a typical night, but currently has 4 points. Maleg and Clavon have 3 apiece. Germain and Breen have been held scoreless. And if you take a quick look at the team's scoring leaders this year, those 4 have combined for 6 points tonight. That really tells the story for why Metuchen's offense has been struggling so much. Those 4 on a typical night would combine for 43 points, and tonight they have 6 at halftime. For South Plainfield, they're playing great defense, but haven't been able to convert open shots either, and they trail by 1 and are hoping they can get something going. Also, Brianna Harris, who had 19 against Metuchen last time, she had 4 points so far in the first half, and a quick turnover there as McNelly, who has struggled in this game, travels, and Metuchen will get the ball here. Up the floor comes Charlotte Breen, still looking for her first points of the night. Breen, errant pass, out of bounds. Second time Charlotte Breen has been way off on a pass, and, you know, she's typically one who will be much more accurate with her passing. And now with it are the Tigers. Bourne, a deep 3, air ball. Euler does a great job saving it, but tips it right into the hands of Pachalski. Here comes Metuchen looking to expand on their first lead of the day. Clavon drives down the lane, and finally Chase Clavon gets one to fall inside. 5 points for Clavon now. Metuchen is up by 3. Bounce pass. Harris drives, gets around Breen, puts it up, and draws the foul. Brianna Harris will head to the free throw line. And the first free throw is no good. When these teams matched up early in the season, Metuchen was only up 4 at halftime, but then pulled away in the third quarter. A huge third quarter from Orly Germain and Molly Maleg. They're hitting everything, and they ended up winning by 18, so they're hoping for another second half spark and hoping that history repeats, as neither free throw falls there at the line for Euler, and now here come the Bulldogs with it. Maleg, crossover move, at the elbow, kicks it back out. It's Clavon. Clavon sidesteps, works it in. Chase Clavon rolls it in. Where was this in the first half? Chase Clavon, back-to-back really nice finishes inside. She now has a game-high 7. Metuchen leads by 5. Bourne looking to respond. She has been way off from downtown all game long and can't hit there once again. Bourne has just 3 points. That one doesn't go, and Euler will get fouled, and Lindsay Euler will be back at the free throw line here as Metuchen picks up already their second foul of the half. First one against Pachalski, and now Euler will shoot 2. Euler just 1 of 4 from the line, and now she'll put one in to get up to 6 points today. And that's a free throw lane violation there as Euler crossed the line there, and Metuchen will have the ball, leading by 4. 20-16, 6.5 remaining here in the third. Here's Charlotte Breen with it. Breen, pass is picked off by Sarah McNelly. Charlotte Breen has struggled with the turnovers, and there tips it right back to Brianna Harris. Harris, crossover move. No look pass out to Bourne. Bourne looking to find someone. It's back to Harris at the top of the key. Harris makes her move. Back to McNally. Now here's Harris, driving in, putting it up, draws the foul. Another one against Metuchen. That's already their third here in the first 2 minutes of the first half. But it'll be a blocking foul there. As now Breen will take a seat. Waldron will check in as Charlotte Breen picks up her second foul. His pass, Bourne, deep three, splashes from really deep. Delaney Bourne with her second three, and South Plainfield is back within a point. 20-19, 4 points apiece here for each team here to start the second half, and a turnover. That pass too strong for Germain, picked off by Bourne. Here comes Delaney Bourne with it again, swings it over to McNally on the left wing. McNally makes her move, works it inside, chucks it up, and it's another Metuchen foul, this time against Orly Germain. And the Bulldogs have 4 fouls here, and we still have 5:35 left in the third. Sarah McNally has really struggled tonight. Just 2 points, but she has been really active on defense, and not a surprise as she has led the team in steals this season. 31 steals total. That's good enough for 2.2 per game, as Germain will take a seat after picking up that foul. And McNally knocks down both free throws, and South Plainfield goes back up in front here, 21-20. Flaherty Family Pod Final. 3 and 4 seeds. A couple of upsets here, as Maleg airballs that one. And this is very similar to that boys game when they couldn't score because Schleck, Chiappa, and Piavosa were all having bad games on the same day. Tonight, all of Metuchen's 4 big scores, Clavon, Maleg, Germain, and Breen, are all struggling from the field. Not a recipe for success, despite the talent that this team does have on their bench. McNally, pass, Harris cutting inside, now finds Loyacano, rolls it up and in. And a foul. Sydney Loyacano. And suddenly South Plainfield can go back up by 4. That's now 3 fouls against Knoll, so I believe Knoll and Germain both have 3 fouls now. And a timeout's going to be called here with 4:58 remaining in the third quarter. So just a reminder, 7 o'clock, we wrap up this basketball season, this unprecedented season. 7 o'clock, the boys play their finale, a Haley Pod Championship on the line as they host Old Bridge, coming off of their buzzer-beating victory over Middlesex. Metuchen boys got the win here at home against New Brunswick, which we broadcasted here live on the Bulldog Report on Wednesday. You can check that out. It'll be live right here at 7 o'clock. Myself, Eddie Kalegi, along with Josh Hyman, will be there on the call. So Metuchen has it. Actually, it's going to be the free throw here for Loyacano, excuse me, and then Metuchen will have it. (23-20). And Loyacano can't convert at the line. And it'll be Metuchen ball, nonetheless. First foul against South Plainfield this half, and it's the second charged against Brianna Harris. Bulldogs, though, have picked up 5 fouls in the first 3 minutes of the third quarter. They now only have 1 more foul to give here for the half, as Waldron, that's one tipped, out of bounds, off of Caitlin Waldron, South Plainfield ball. Another Metuchen turnover. Delaney Bourne, guarded by Maleg, gets it over to McNally. McNally, screen set. And that pass is picked up by Cassidy Connors. Connors running the other way, 1-on-2, puts it up, can't get it to fall, and it'll be last touched there by Loyacano, and it'll stay with Metuchen. Waldron, over to Maleg, to tie. Maleg no good off the front of the rim. Waldron gets the rebound. Caitlin Waldron has been very active and has had a nice game. There drives in, puts it in the foul. Caitlin Waldron, a breakout performance. She now has 6 and can tie up the game at the free throw line. What a job to get the rebound, to recover, dribbles all the way around, comes back around, off the screen, lays it in, through the contact, and now has a chance to tie the game here at the free throw line. Can't hit the free throw, though, so it'll stay a 1-point lead for South Plainfield, but nonetheless, a couple of nice possessions in a row here for Metuchen. Harris is given all kinds of space to fire away from three. She can't hit. She hit 3 threes the last time these teams matched up as Delaney Bourne instead steps back and hits one. A long 2 for Bourne, who now has 8. Her first 2-pointer of the game. She had hit a couple of threes. Now Pachalski. Back out to Clavon. Got a great game on hand here. Clavon, as that one's going to be knocked out of bounds. It will stay with Metuchen, though. Inbounded from the wrong spot. Now Pachalski will come over. And she gets it over to Clavon. Here comes Chase Clavon, penetrating. Now draws a couple of defenders. Chucks one up from deep, no good. Another miss from downtown for Chase Clavon, and now South Plainfield runs the break. It's Brianna Harris. The floater is an air ball. Both teams playing very erratic in a close game where every point matters. You'd think you'd want to slow things down and take, a little more care of the ball, knowing that this is such a low-scoring game, as Waldron comes flying in for the rebound. It's a tie-up, but Metuchen has the possession arrow. And this is really up to coaches Kathy Glutz and Jeffrey Carizdio to really tell their teams not to rush here, as Waldron tries to get the inbound, but she stepped out of bounds. And the number of turnovers, I'm not sugarcoating this. The Bulldogs have to be at around 15 turnovers for this game at least. And it really hasn't subsided throughout the game, despite the fact that they've gotten their shot back a little bit. As Harris... Nice defense from Waldron. Waldron heads to the floor. Big-time tie-up with Brianna Harris. Both players getting very aggressive. And South Plainfield will keep it with the possession arrow. You can tell there was a lot of added energy from both these teams playing right now. Also see the boys team sitting there in the stands, excited to play their pod finale after this. Harris. That pass tipped, but it goes right into the hands of McNelly. McNelly tied up with Clavon now. And they're going to call a foul against Clavon. As Malek will check in, and that was Metuchen's last foul to give here for the half. We haven't really talked about foul trouble with this team so much this season. They've done a really good job with it, but here... 6 fouls already, and we've seen South Plainfield has been pretty good from the free throw line. As Loyacano steps into a 3, no good. That would have put them up by 6, which in this game is nearly an insurmountable lead. As Malek drives in. Pass, finds Pachalski, back out. Breen, the jumper, can't hit. Harris fell right into her hands for the rebound. 2.5 remaining here in the third. Here's Delaney Bourne with it. Gets it over to McNelly. McNelly, nice screen by Loyacano, goes the other way, lays it up and in. Sarah McNelly has 6 points now. McNelly, their second leading scorer overall this season, and now second most in the game. 27-22, South Plainfield by 5. They've outscored the Bulldogs 12-6 here in the third quarter, as driving in, finishing again as Caitlin Waldron through the contact. Caitlin Waldron is willing this Bulldog offense through this game. She now has 8 points and can try to get them back within 2 here at the line. As a couple of substitutions, Clavon and Germain will check back in as Pachalski and Connors will sit. Waldron missed her first free throw, but nothing but net here on her second of the game. 27-25 as Loyacano picked up her first foul. South Plainfield has only used 6 players. These 5 plus Anya Ramirez got a couple minutes in the second quarter. As unable to convert, there's Harris. Gets her own rebound, swatted away by Germain. Orly Germain gets tied up, and that's going to be a foul against Brianna Harris. Best the Bulldogs have looked all game here over these past few seconds. The nice score and one for Caitlin Waldron, and then Germain there with the block, the rebound, and drawing the foul. The trifecta inside. Exactly what you expect from Germain. And as a sophomore, looking towards the future, she is going to play a very vital role on this team these next couple of years. especially when they go a little away from the three-pointer with Clavon gone, but Jermaine there makes a mistake. But they're going to call a foul there against South Plainfield. This pass. Trying to save it is Harris. It goes to the floor. Maleg somehow keeps it going. Puts it up. No good. The rebound by Molly Maleg goes to the floor. Trying to keep it alive. But South Plainfield will take possession on the jump ball. Tigers by 2. Minute and a half remaining in the third quarter. Clavon. Here's a quick pass to Harris. Harris drives in. Throws it up. Too strong. And that's going to be another foul. And that means that South Plainfield has made their way into the bonus here, and we are still in the third quarter, so a lot of free throws ahead. As that's now 3 fouls against Maleg. So Maleg, Knoll, and Jermaine all have 3 fouls. Charlotte Breen has 2. And the Bulldogs as a team have 7 here, with still a minute remaining in the third. So 1-1 here for Brianna Harris. Has to hit the front end here to keep it alive, and she can't, but Loyacano gets the rebound. Bourne feeds it out to McNally. McNally drives, puts it up through the contact, and another foul against Metuchen. 8 fouls now against the Bulldogs in the quarter. And that's 3 on Jermaine. So Jermaine and Maleg both have 3, as does Sarah Knoll. So both of Metuchen's centers have 3 fouls, and McNally can't hit the first free throw. She'll drop the second, though, to make it 28-25. That's 7 points for McNally. South Plainfield still staying with the same 5. And here come the Bulldogs with Waldron, Clavon, Connors, Pachalski, and Breen. Inside, Pachalski can't hit the easy layup inside. And now the other way, here comes South Plainfield, and that's a push-off against Brianna Harris. Harris kind of pushed Clavon back a little bit to draw a little space, and they'll call that any day. Waldron gets it over to Connors. Final minute of the third quarter. Connors drives in, turns over the ball, another steal. Harris getting aggressive with it and gets it over to Bourne. And a timeout's going to be called here with 50 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And one final time today, let's give a thank you to the Metuchen Education Foundation. They funded the Get Loud grant, making today's broadcast and every broadcast throughout the season possible. Today, the last day of the basketball season, but Bulldog Report will still be going on with wrestling starting in a couple weeks. Of course, baseball, softball, and other spring sports in April. We've still got a lot of action to cover, and it's been great to be part of the Bulldog Report this season. The MHS podcast and the Media Club, both part of it. And if you're someone interested, attention 8th graders or anybody in the high school who might be interested in joining one of these clubs next season, you can reach out to me, Eddie Kalegi, or the Media Club's student president, sophomore Ben Solaski, for more information. We're always looking for new members who'd like to join our Metuchen High School, our growing Metuchen High School media team. So for Metuchen, they started getting some momentum at the end of the second, but a couple of nice shots there for South Plainfield. And of course, the story of this quarter, it's not really Metuchen turning over the ball as much. They're shooting the ball better too. It's these fouls, 8 fouls in 7 minutes. Not a recipe for success. Here's Harris, drives on Waldron, puts it up, off the front of the rim, no good. Connors the rebound. Cassidy Connors loses it, Loyacano picks it off, pass inside, Loyacano finishes. Sydney Loyacano's got 5, and the lead is 5 for South Plainfield. Can they pull off another upset as Waldron drives in, and that's a travel. Couldn't draw the charge. And now South Plainfield can potentially hold for a final shot. They've led by as many as 6 today. They could give themselves their biggest lead of the game here with a basket. McNally drives in, lays it up. Oh, what a finish by Sarah McNally. Final few seconds here of the third. Breen chucks one up. No good. Rebound South Plainfield. What a third quarter for the Tigers, they outscore Metuchen 17-9 and now lead it by 7 here in the Flaherty Family Pod Final with 8 minutes to go. What a turnaround. They lost by 18 earlier this year against Metuchen, but the Bulldogs need a fourth quarter spark. They are really struggling right now. Stay with us. A lot of action still to go. Eddie Kalegi here on the Bulldog Report. South Plainfield leads it by 7 after 3. All right, final 8 minutes. South Plainfield with a big third quarter response to combat, Metuchen's history this season of strong second halves. And they came from behind against Calvary. South Plainfield themselves had a huge fourth quarter to defeat South River and knock off the 1 seed. Metuchen was also lower seeded and were able to defeat Calvary on the road. 3 and 4, final 8 minutes. Let's see what happens as Knoll rolls it up, no good. Jermaine the putback, that is no good either. That's the story of this game. Too many misses on easy shots that should be high percentage shots, especially inside. Harris drives in, hits the floor, and that's a foul against Charlotte Breen. She'll now pick up her third. That's number 9 against Metuchen here in the second half. And again, South Plainfield will shoot free throws. And now Metuchen has 4 players with 3 fouls. Maleg, Jermaine, Knoll, and now Breen. Front end, no good. Knoll trying to secure the rebound, loses it. But Metuchen will be given possession here, as a foul is called against South Plainfield. Bulldogs really need to score. They only had 39 against Calvary. That probably won't cut it tonight. Clavon. Over to Knoll. Back to Clavon. A 3. Rims out. Maleg the rebound. Molly Maleg only has 3 points tonight. She drives in. Puts it up. No good. Rebound Loyacano. The South Plainfield Tigers just playing absolutely stifling defense right now, and Metuchen just cannot hit any shots. McNelly dribbles out. Loyacano loses the ball. Clavon, but McNelly gets it back inside. It's Loyacano again, puts it in. South Plainfield leads by 9, and a timeout is called again by the Bulldogs. They'll have 2 left after this. Coach Glutz and the assistants completely in disbelief. This is the Metuchen team that blew out South Plainfield when they played here back on January 29th. And taking a quick look back at that game on the 29th, Metuchen won 50-32. Clavon had 16, and there was 19 for Brianna Harris. It is a completely different story today. You can just see the faces on some of those Bulldog players there. I think they expected a lot more being at home for this pod championship game. They're down, but of course not out if they can start making some shots. You can tell Coach Kathy Glutz is not too happy with the play she's seeing. Coach Glutz, notorious for her time playing at Rutgers many years ago. She knows what it's like to play in these big games, and she wants her young Bulldogs team to really step up. We know this is a young team. We know they're going to get better. They only have 1 senior this year in Chase Clavon, and they've got a lot of talent like Flaherty and Pfeiffer and Gray coming up from the JV team. This will be a really talented program next year when they can play a full season, but you're still focused on right now, and you want to win this pod championship game at home in front of your parents in your final game of the season, and for Clavon, her final career game here in Metuchen. As a turnover, and South Plainfield again takes it away. They can go up double digits here. They stunned South River and now looking to do the same here to the Lady Bulldogs. And end what has been a really good season for Metuchen on a really low note. Bourne, guarded by Breen. Inside, it's Euler. Euler cutting inside. It's McNelly. He lays it up, but a foul. Another one. That's, I believe, Molly Maleg, which would be her fourth, which is very important to watch now. We'll see if yes, it's 4 on Maleg. And McNelly, who has had a big second half after a very quiet first half, buries the first. It's a double-digit South Plainfield lead. And now Maleg will have to sit with those 4 fouls because they'll want her in there towards the end. Maleg with only 3 points tonight. Her season low before this was 8. As both free throws fall, it's a 9-0 run here for South Plainfield, and they lead at 36-25. Connors, pass. Knoll loses it. Another takeaway by South Plainfield. The Bulldogs are just completely out of sync today. Really sad to see for this team. But South Plainfield there, an errant pass, and you can see Coach Jeffrey Caristio telling his players to slow things down. We've seen Metuchen have this problem all season when they'd have a big lead and they'd be making erratic passes and allow a team to get back into the game. They don't want the similar thing to happen here. It's Clavon from 3. She just has been so far off tonight, especially from downtown. Bulldogs just cannot hit a 3-pointer, plain and simple, tonight. Harris, head fake. Over to McNelly. McNelly, Euler, that's Bourne for 3, and Delaney Bourne from downtown. It's a 14-point lead for South Plainfield, who are putting away the Bulldogs right now on their home floor. Connor's looking to respond. She can't hit. Germain the rebound. The putback is short, but a foul is going to be called, and Orly Germain, who is still looking for her first points of the game, heads to the line. Germain, Breen, and Maleg. That's the real story here. Those 3, who combined each game averaged 27 points, have 3 in this game. They'll make it 4 here as Germain finally gets on the board. And that one won't fall. So they'll get 1, but still, it's a 12-1 run here since it was 27-25 near the end of the third quarter. As South Plainfield has outscored the Bulldogs 24-10 here in the second half. McNelly drives around the screen, gets it over, inside Loyacano, loses it out of bounds, Metuchen ball. Bulldogs need to force mistakes like that and take advantage of South Plainfield playing a little too up-tempo right now. But they need South Plainfield to no longer be hot from the field. Both Bourne and McNelly have shot the ball very well tonight, especially comparatively when you look at the other teams. And Connors forces a bad pass, and South Plainfield takes it away. Here comes Delaney Bourne. Over to Harris. Screen set. Harris drives. Puts it up and in. And they're going to call a travel. I thought she took like 5 steps going down the lane. Looks like that's going to be what it was. And Metuchen will get the ball back. But with 4:26 to go and down by 13, it's not just getting defensive stops here, which of course they have to be doing, but they need to start hitting shots, and they got to hit them fast. As Waldron inside. Connors can't hit. Taken away by Euler. Metuchen brings the trap. Connors with the steal. Cassidy Connors kicks it out. Waldron. Waldron puts it on the floor. Keeps it alive, but as she fell, that's a travel. The Bulldogs have turned over the ball on 6 of their last 7 possessions, and South Plainfield with it. And it's bad enough they're not shooting that well, but they're not even getting to take too many shots because they've just had so many turnovers. But South Plainfield now having to start that same issue, but 13-point game. They're in a pretty nice position. And Coach Glutz is very frustrated on the sidelines. That is another turnover for the Bulldogs. And they're going to talk things over here on the sidelines with 3:49 to go. Stay with us here. 3:49 left in the fourth quarter. Metuchen looking to come back. South Plainfield looking as a 4 seed to become the Flaherty Family Pod champions. Eddie Kalegi here on the Bulldog Report. We'll be back in a moment. All right. Hello, everybody. Just to give a quick recap to anybody just tuning in. Metuchen, the 3 seed, South Plainfield, the 4 seed. Both these teams won on the road, and now it looks like this might be the pod of road warriors, as the Tigers, who lost by 18 to Metuchen right on this very floor. We broadcasted it a few weeks ago, and this team was not nearly as competitive or as talented on defense in that game, but they've really built up. This is also a pretty young team. Their only senior is Delaney Bourne, and they're playing an excellent game on both sides of the ball. They've had some turnovers, but Metuchen has just struggled on all ends, and that's been another problem right there. Fouls here in the second half. The Bulldogs are now up to 11. As Clavon picks up her second. All 5 Metuchen starters have at least 2 fouls in this game. And McNelly buries the first free throw, and the lead just continues to grow here for South Plainfield. They now lead it by 14. They were up by 5. They're actually up by 7 at the end of the third quarter. But, of course, that's a lead that's attainable, and it just hasn't been that way for quite a while, as Bourne almost loses it on a wild pass by Loyacano. McNelly from deep, no good, touches the bottom of the net. Connors, the rebound, has trouble with it, and now here come the Bulldogs. Metuchen's got to start trying to score quickly, but they cannot turn over the ball. Breen, Connors for 3, rims out. Metuchen has only hit 1 3-pointer in this game. It was from Clavon in the first quarter. McNelly has it, 3 minutes to go. Harris tied up with Waldron. Jump ball, South Plainfield has it anyway. Actually, they're going to call the foul there against Waldron. I thought originally they signaled for a jump ball, but they're going to say a foul. And Harris will go to the line. Brianna Harris knocks down the first free throw. And a game that has just completely gotten away here from Metuchen. And for the South Plainfield team, how about the resilience? They're going to finish this year, if they hang on to win this game, at 6-9 as the second free throw violation Metuchen ball. They'd be 6-9, yet they'd be a pod champion. And that's what this format provides. And it's nice to have, in lieu of the conference tournament, at least some playoff games, and hopefully next season everything can be back to normal. Charlotte Breen can't hit. Rebound there by Euler, and now Delaney Bourne has it. Metuchen's starting to bring the press, but you can't send 3 back because now it's a 4-on-2 break. Inside it's Euler, putting it up, no good. A tie-up with Clavon, but the possession arrow is South Plainfield's way. 2:35 to go. Euler over to Loyacano. Dribbling around. Harris. Waldron bringing pressure. It's going to be another foul. Waldron will now pick up her second. That's now 14 fouls here on Metuchen in the second half. And just a tough way to end this for the season for them. Harris, another air ball from the free throw line. She has not done particularly well in this game, only has 5 points. 2 in double figures, though, for the Tigers. 12 points for McNelly, 11 for Bourne. Both have been red hot in the second half. That one won't go. Clavon the rebound. She'll push it the other way. Feeds it ahead, Charlotte Breen. Breen drives inside. Spins, back to Waldron. Got to put up a shot here as Pachalski over to Malig. Clavon, a 3. That one is short. Metuchen has 1 point here in the fourth quarter. And that's going to be another foul here, as South Plainfield will shoot free throws. (26-11) is the scoring here. Actually, 26-10 rather, in this second half, as McNelly buries the first free throw. She only had 4 points in the first half. She's now up to 13 for the game. Make it 14 here, including 8 of 10 from the free throw line. Free throws have been absolutely crucial. 2 minutes to go. Malig passing, and no surprise there. Another turnover. This time Maleg stepped out of bounds. The JV players will all get ready to check in, so Coach Glutt's unloading the bench. So South Plainfield looking to just hang on for 2 more minutes, and they could become Flaherty Family Pod champions as a 4 seed, the bottom seed, looking to win back-to-back on the road against teams they lost to in the regular season. Pfeiffer is in, Gray is in, and Leslie Flaherty. How about Flaherty getting to play here in the Flaherty Family Pod here in these final couple minutes? Still the same 5 out there. Anya Ramirez got a couple minutes in the game, but we have not seen much, and now we'll see some substitutions finally as Alina Hussein and Anastasia Cesario will check in for the Tigers, and that pass is picked off by Waldron. Here comes Metuchen the other way. Caitlin Waldron inside, lays it up and in. Caitlin Waldron has had a big breakout game, and she's going to have to step up next year when Chase Clavon is gone. There's going to be some holes at that shooting guard position. Waldron with 11 points. Having a nice performance here. 1:20 to go. Cesario turns it over. Pachalski takes it away. Pass ahead. Here comes Caitlin Waldron again to the hoop. Leaves it short this time. Gets tied up. Very aggressive with Harris. Metuchen has the possession arrow their way. But Katie Gray who will inbound. Gets it over to Waldron. Waldron making moves. With his Pfeiffer. Back to Waldron. Waldron inside, pass, Pachalski saves it, but passes it right over to Delaney Bourne, who's playing her final minute of action. Chase Clavon has more than likely checked out for the final time as a member of the Metuchen Lady Bulldogs. Has had a very strong 4-year career. Harris stands with it, now Waldron brings defense. South Plainfield in no hurry. Hossein. Back to Cesario, and now it's Harris. Hossein has it. South Plainfield simply playing keep away here with 20 seconds to go. With the ball, final seconds, down to 10 on the clock. The South Plainfield Tigers, the bottom seed here, as a steal. Metuchen will go back the other way. Caitlin Waldron will finish the season with the layup, but that'll do it nonetheless. Waldron had 13. But an ugly second half for Metuchen. They were held to 5 points here in the fourth quarter and fall 43-30. And the South Plainfield Tigers are Flaherty Family Pod champions despite being the lowest seeded team at the 4 seed. They steal the win against South River and then again here against Metuchen to win the championship decisively. You see Artie Flaherty, who we talked to at the pregame show, there to present the trophy to Coach Jeffrey Corizdio and senior Delaney Bourne. They'll celebrate. It's a little different than a GMC championship, but they've won a trophy, and that's a good way to end Delaney Bourne's career. And what was a bit of a tough season for South Plainfield, closing it out with back-to-back wins on the road. And as for Metuchen, this team will largely be the same next year. No Chase Clavon, but everybody else will be back. Maybe they can get Zoe Brown and Marin Boucher, who sat out the season. Maybe they can come back. There's a lot of optimism for this Bulldog program. We know Molly Maleg will continue to add to her legacy. She got to 1,000 points this season. We don't know what she'll do next, but looking at the box score one final time, 14 points for McNally, 11 for Bourne, 7 for Loyacano, 6 for Euler, and 5 for Harris. And as for Metuchen, 13 points for Caitlin Waldron, a career high. Clavon had 7. Maleg a disappointing 3. 2 for Connors, 2 for Pachalski, 2 for Knoll, and 1 for Orly Germain. So we hope you enjoyed our coverage of Metuchen girls basketball throughout this season. But we're not done today. We'll be back right here at 7 o'clock when the boys participate in the Haley Pod final against Old Bridge. We hope to see you then. But once again, your final score, South Plainfield wins the Flaherty Family Pod 43-30. For Ben Solaski, our producer, and our camera people, Mr. Zanetto and Jada Victor Morse, I'm Eddie Kalegi signing off. We'll see you at 7 o'clock as the boys host Old Bridge.